I'd asked you about this conflict on the border of Eritrea and Ethiopia, and you'd said, the 2000. First, I wanted to know, can you say a bit, when you say that we have contacted both sides, can you give a little more detail? Is it DPA? And number two, the last going back and looking at it, this boundary commission that ruled on what the border should be, seemed to have stopped work in 2007. Ban Ki-moon made a statement in 2008. Has anything been done further on actually enforcing that judgment?
I'm not aware of any further updates. Contacts are had at various level. I'm not going to go into the details. What I will tell you is that the Secretary General has a meeting scheduled with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia tomorrow in Brussels. It was pre-scheduled prior to this current crisis, but obviously it will be brought up during the meeting, and it will be reflected. Mr. Lee.
Sure. Some questions on Burundi. First, there's a report of a soldier that was throwing a grenade into a crowd. It exploded and killed him and others. And I wanted to know, I guess, both on the sort of ongoing violence, on 230 students now expelled from school for drawing on the president's picture, and on the human trafficking thing that I asked you about yesterday. That's actually, there's a Bloomberg story about it. There's various public reports about the allegations and pictures of people in the airport. What is the UN, is the Burundi team or secretariat doing?
Our team remains on the ground, trying to work towards a political solution to the current crisis. I don't have anything else with any more detail to give you.
I mean, I think UNICEF put out a statement some weeks ago about students. I think it was referring to the same idea of punishment.
We've expressed our concern about different parts of the current situation in Burundi, including limits on freedom of the press and limits on freedom of expression.
Just one thing, who in the UN system deals with human trafficking? I know it's something the UN is against. If in a country where there is a human rights team on the ground, there are photographs
it goes across
dozens of girls in the airport.
I think it goes around human rights, UNHCR, and other parts in UNICEF as well. Okay.
Economist, the renowned publication. I wanted to ask you about something in the Ottawa Citizen, which is maybe lesser known, but the piece that I'm asking you about is written by Alan Rock, who is a former ambassador here and also UN official. And it's about, he said, the UN must fix its culture of cover-ups around peacekeeping. He talks about both the Haiti cholera, rapes, and the need to protect whistleblowers. So I'm wondering, this is he's a person that worked here. He's obviously a person that the UN respected enough to send to Sri Lanka in some capacity. Are you going to write to the Ottawa Citizen, or do you have a response?
I haven't seen. Thank you for
claims?
flagging it. I have not read the piece, so let me read it, and then I can respond.
And somewhat related, just to get it out of the way, there's been in the Senate defense. In a bill passing through both houses of Congress, there's a proposal in the House to require, basically on the whistleblower action, to say that those who don't act in compliance with ethics rulings or ethic principles should be, terminated at the UN, and also to require disclosure of in summary fashion, of information filed with the ethics office to know the scope of retaliation within the UN. Do you oppose that?
The ethics architecture at the UN is quite strong. I think, as with anything, it could always be improved, and we're always happy to be in a dialogue with member states on how to improve the mechanism. Mr. Lee, then Edie.
Sure. I wanted I'd asked you about this open letter in the Lancet to the Secretary General about cholera in Haiti and taking responsibility. You said you hadn't seen it. Are you now aware of it, or not yet?
I'm aware of it. I think on the legal stance, things have not changed, and as you know, I think the UN, as the letter says, is working with the Haitian authorities through the country team in trying to improve the sanitation system, improve the water system, and the efforts that we have are unfortunately underfunded.
And also, I wanted to ask, this is sort of obviously the shootings in Orlando. The shooter, or Omar Mateen, was an employee of this G4S, which is a security or private military contractor. And it's come up before in this room because somehow it's a member of the Global Compact, even though there are many controversies around its actions. It was said, as the Wall Street Journal quoted one of his coworkers as saying, he had anger issues and was very unstable. I'm just wondering if what's the procedure for the UN Global Compact number one, allowing in a company that's basically a mercenary or private military contractor, but two, when it becomes clear that they're providing automatic weapons to somebody who
Well, okay,
is
I
widely
think,
described as having.
I think we're jumping to conclusions here. First of all, I know our colleagues at the Global Compact are as sad and heartbroken as we all are about what happened in Florida. Whenever concerns are raised about a company, such as the one you mentioned, contacts are had, and they are monitoring the investigation at this point, and they will monitor and decide whether or not appropriate action should be taken with G4S's place in the Global Compact.
And is there any, just relatedly on the Global Compact, are there any NGLAP-saying affiliated or funded companies that remain? At one time, the World Harmony Foundation was still in.
Not that I'm aware of, but that's a question you need to ask them.
Okay. Sure. Just, well, I mean, one thing that some people have said that the online version of the report still has Saudi in the Annex. What's the procedure for actually dropping?
That is being worked on. We just have to update, I think the list itself has to be updated, so that should be done. Which is that both the permanent mission of Saudi Arabia and the permanent mission of Yemen had delivered to them the excerpts of the report that pertains to the conflict in Yemen to the permanent mission, I think in early March. Thank you all. Have a great day.